SCR, that how we can protect SCR. So why the protection is needed? We have already studied some of the thing that was the thyristor gate control. That thyristor gate is actually a sensitive part. So if the gate voltage is increased, the gate can be damaged, and when the gate damages, the thyristor control has been actually eliminated. So there is no control in the thyristor. So the main difference between the SCR was and the diode was the control, that we actually use SCR for controlling purposes. So if control is not over here, then there is no role of then there is no use of SCR. So SCR is a very delicate semiconductor device, so we have to use it its specified rating to get desired output. SCRs may face different types of threats. So due to SCR can face high voltages, high currents, over voltage, over currents, so we have to protect it. So different protection schemes are available in order to operate the SCR safely. So under power electronics protection of a device is important aspect and for its reliable and efficient operation. So whenever we operate or whenever you're using SCR, we have to ensure its protection. So different protection schemes are over here, which can be used in order to protect the SCR from over voltage and from the over current. So different protection schemes are over voltage protection, over current protection, high di by dt protection, and high dy by dt protection. And some circuit that are actually snubber circuit, yeah, or crowbar circuit, they can also be used for the protection of SCR. So where is over voltage protection, or how the over voltage protection arises? So a thyristor can be subjected to internal or external over voltages. Maybe a circuit is operating and some fault arises, and the voltage suddenly increases. So how we the over voltage can be from the internal circuit, or it can be from the external sources like lightning or extra fault or line to line fault, etc. So both the cases can be arising. So actually the internal over voltage are a commutation of thyristor reverse recovery current, abrupt changes with high di by dt, which can cause high reverse voltages. So if di by dt is high, then we should be large also, and that can exceed the rated breakover voltage, and the device may be damaged. So during the reverse recovery currents, what happens? A high abrupt or di by dt current changes, which can result high reverse voltages. So we have to protect the high reverse voltage. Means what is the blocking capability of the thyristor? That is actually the over voltage or the internal voltage of thyristor. What are the external voltages? They are the cause due to various reasons, maybe due to the lightning, due to the abrupt changes. So external voltage may cause different types of problem in thyristor operation. It can increase the leakage current. It can permanently break down the junction of a thyristor, or it can turn on the thyristor with if we doesn't want it to turn on, it may be turn on due to these high voltages. So what we have to do, we have to suppress these over voltages. So what are the schemes? The first is protective scheme. So the effect of over voltage can be minimized by using non-linear resistor or voltage clamper devices like metal oxide or metal oxide varistors. So when they are operating at normal, it offers high impedance and act as it is not present in the circuit. But when the voltage exceed, so the rated voltage, then it serve as low impedance path to the protection of thyristor. So this is actually the this is actually how we can protect the thyristor from the over voltages, and or how we can minimize the over voltage. So what are actually voltage clamping devices? They are non-linear resistor, or we can also call it a varistor. They are connected across the SCR. So the resistance of varistor will decrease with the increase in voltage. So this is how it operates. So initially initially it provides a high impedance, but whenever the voltage increases, it provides a low impedance and a short circuit path for the high current. So this is how it protects. So during non-operation, varistor has high resistance and it draws a very small leakage current. But whenever the voltage appears to be high, so it operates in low resistance region, and it surges the energy in dissipated across the resistance by producing a short circuit path across the thyristor. So this is actually the protection circuit for over voltages. So this is actually SCR. This is actually SCR. So this is over current protection actually. So for overcurrent protection, we can use circuit breaker, we can use fuses of different rating depending upon the load, so or depending upon the rating of the SCR. So they can protect the SCR from overcurrent protection. So overcurrent protection, normally fuse and circuit breaker are used, and for the protection of SCR, what are actually what are actually used, voltage clamper are actually used. So this is the circuit of protection circuit for the over voltage. So initially it acts as high impedance and it draws a leakage current only, but whenever the voltage increases, what happens, its impedance decreases and a high current flows through it. So that is why it protects the SCR during the high voltages. So in ACR, due to overcurrent, the junction temperature, so when the current increases, the junction current temperature also exceeded, and it can damage the thyristor or gate. It can also damage the gate. So overcurrent is actually interrupted by conventional fuses and circuit breaker. The fault current must be interrupted before the ACR get damaged, and all the faulty branches of the network should be isolated. So circuit breaker has long tripping time, so it is used for protection of CR against continuous overload or against surge currents for long duration. Act as acting current. Limiting fuse is used for protection of CR against large surges current of very short duration. So we can use circuit breaker, we can use fuses for the protection of overcurrent. Circuit breaker can be used in the case when the surge current duration is long, and the fuses can be used when the its duration is can be used for the short duration when the surge current duration is short. So this is the circuit for overcurrent protection, that how we can protect the SCR. So this is the normally the circuit that can be used for the protection of SCR for against the overcurrent protection. This is a crowbar circuit. It can be also, this is SCR, and this is the fuse for the it's for the protection of overcurrent, and this is the a great resonance circuit where current sensing resistor is used, and this is the power converter and the load. So this is actually a crowbar thyristor. So it senses the current, and according to it operates the SCR. So this is also a circuit that can be used for the protection of thyristor. So SCR has very high surge current ability. SCR is used in electronic crowbar circuit for overcurrent protection of power circuit. In this protection, in addition, SCR is connected across the supply, which is known as crowbar SCR. So current sensing resistor detects the value of converter current. If it exceeds the preset value, then the gate trigger circuit turn on the crowbar SCR. So the input terminal of short circuit by SCR, and thus it bypasses the converter over current. After some time, the main fuse interrupts the fault current. So here in this circuit, two types of thyristor are used. One is the crowbar thyristor, and other is the normal thyristor. They are normal used for operating. What the crowbar thyristor actually does, it senses the current in the circuit. Whenever the current exceeds the preset value, it turn on the SCR, and the current flows through the crowbar thyristor. And if the current flows through for a long duration, then the main fuse or the fuse will operate, and it will disconnect the faulty portion from the circuit. What are high dy by dt protection? So whenever thyristor is forward biased and is turned on by a gate pulse, conduction of anode current begins in the immediate neighborhood of the gate cathode junction. Thereafter, the current spread across the whole area of the junction. A thyristor design permits the spread of conduction to the whole junction area as rapid as possible. However, if the rate of the rise of anode current I, like dI by dt, is large as compared to the spread velocity of carriers, local hot spots will be formed near the gate conduction on account of high current density. So applying a gate current to nearby, this localized heating may destroy the thyristor. Therefore, the rate of rise of anode current at the time of turn on must be kept below a specified limiting value. So whenever we provide a gate firing pulse to thyristor, what happens? There is a rise in the anode current at the time of turn on. So that rise should be specified to a limited value. If it is not specified to a limited value, it can damage the thyristor. So the value of di by dt can be maintained below an acceptable limit by using a small inductor as inductor as what is the role of inductor. It will it will minimize these changes, the current changes. So by using a small inductor called di by dt inductor in series with the anode circuit, typically di by dt limits the SCR to 20 to 500 ampere per microsecond. So what we have to do, we have to use an inductor. So if this is thyristor, what we have to do, we have to use an inductor in series with thyristor. This will what will it do, it will actually minimize the anode current changes. So if the anode current changes are high, it can damage the thyristor. So in order to minimize these changes, an inductor can be used in series with the thyristor. High DU by dt protection, it's against the high rate of change of voltage I during the operation of SCR. What is that effect? So protection against high rate of voltage rise is necessary because if SCR is not in continuous mode and is followed by a mode, then high DU by dt may trigger the SCR, and SCR will not be able to serve its purpose. So what are the protection methods that so we have to install a capacitor in parallel with the SCR. As you know, a capacitor has good charge storage option and provide less resistance for a high frequency voltage. So a capacitor may be connected in parallel with the SCR to protect it from high rate of change of voltage I du by dt. So these were the methods of protection of SCR against di by dt. So typical value of dV by dt or 2 to 20 to 500 volts per microsecond. So the false turn on of a thyristor may by large dV by dt can be prevented by using a snubber circuit and parallel with the device. So we can use a capacitor or we can use a snubber circuit in order to protect the high dV by dt in order to protect the SCR from high dV by dt. So what is a snubber circuit? This is actually a snubber circuit. Here resistor and capacitor are connected in parallel with the SCR. So this is called actually a snubber circuit. So how it operates? So a snubber circuit, it consists of capacitor and resistor and it is connected in parallel with the thyristor. So capacitor capacitor, when it is connected in parallel with the device, it sufficiently provide the unwanted dV by dt triggering of the SCR. So whenever a high voltage is provided to the thyristor, so it will actually avoid these unwanted turn on of the thyristor. So when the switch is closed, a sudden voltage appears across the circuit. So capacitor will behave a short circuit, therefore voltage across SCR is zero. With the passage of time, voltage across CS build up at a slow rate depending upon the time constant value of RC. Therefore, across the CS is less than the specified maximum due by TDT of the device. Hence, so this is how it actually operates. So whenever the switch is closed, the voltage rise sufficiently rise over here. So initially, the snubber circuit provides a short circuit path to it, but after that, when the capacitor charges, so slowly the voltage build up across the thyristor again. So before the SCR is fired by great pulse, SCR charged to full voltage. So this is when the SCR is turned on, capacitor discharges through the SCR and send a current equal to the Vs. So at this resistance is quite low, so the turn on di by dt will tend to be excessive and as a result SCR may be destroyed. So in order to protect it from this whole scenario, this number circuit can be used. Then different methods of turn on, then how we can turn on a thyristor. So we can turn on by different methods. The first one method is thermal turn on or high temperature. So we can this is also a method that can be used for turning on thyristor because when the temperature increases, the depletion layer width that decreases, and this result in the turning on of thyristor. But normally this is not used as it may cause thermal or it may damage the thyristor, or normally it is avoided. The other is lightning triggering. So this is also a special purpose thyristor, that there is a special terminal inside the P layer, and where the light is actually strike on this terminal, when the light intensity becomes high, so then the normal value thyristor goes into the conduction mode, and this type of SCRs are normally called LASCR, light emitting SCRs. And then high voltage triggering, when we provide a high voltage to anode cathode without applying the gate pulse, so it can be turned on. It can be used for turning on thyristor, but normally this is a destructive method and it should also avoid it. So DU/DT triggering, this is also a method that can be used for turning on thyristor. In this case, what happens? So when the device is forward biased, the J2 and J3 junction, they are also forward biased, but the J2 junction is reverse biased. So J2 junction, we have the capacitor due to the charge existing across the junction. So we have to forward bias the J2 junction. Whenever the J2 junction forward biases, the thyristor will turns on automatically. Gate triggering, this is normally the common method that can be used and normally used widely used to turning on thyristor. In this, we provide a firing pulse at the gate terminal, which actually forward bias the J2 junction, and the thyristor goes to the conduction mode. What are the typical signals that can be provided to a gate circuit? We can provide a DC gate circuit. Already we have discussed this. We can provide a AC gate triggering, or we can provide a pulse triggering. What are the differences? The drawback of the DC is there is no there is continuous DC pulse, so high power losses are over here. In AC, it will take time in order to turn on, as on which value the thyristor should turn on. A time is required to reach for the signal to this value. So there is also a drawback over here. So normally pulse is used. For pulses, we can use different circuit. It can consist, we can use the UJT based circuit, or we can use the thyristor based transistor based circuit. So this was all about the uh, course. We have studied about the cycloconverters, then protection of thyristor, different turn on thyristor methods, and the last different firing pulse that are actually that can be used for turning on the thyristor. In the next class, we will go through voltage regulators and motor drives. So these are some of the topics that are actually remaining.